Hi everyone. We're going to be talking about week 3. Week 3 is all about the lesson planning protocols. Take a moment and look at the learning outcomes for week 3. It's understanding the Ohio State standards in the appropriate certification areas, further developing an understanding of academic language, and to begin to create an interdisciplinary lesson plan. We'll get into that a little more as we get down to your assignments there. Okay, so this is a video on academic language. It's excellent. This young man explains academic language in such wonderful terms. So then you're asked after you watch that to go to the ODU website and explore the Ohio State standards in your certification area. Now, a lot of people still call the standards Common Core. Common Core standards have not existed in Ohio for several years now. So make sure you don't refer to the standards as such when you're teaching, when you're doing resident educator. It's really important. So just keep that in mind. All you have to do is click on the link. As I mentioned before, it's important if you have like a K-5 certification you're going for, I would highly suggest you click on third grade reading standards and or the third grade standards period, and let that be the grade level you work on for this lesson plan. And the reason I say that is because grade 3 is where high stakes testing begins. And the more you know about that, especially to put forth in an interview, is huge, very important. You'll notice the table of contents. So when you decide, you're going to be doing reading with this interdisciplinary lesson plan, but then what else are you going to do with it? Are you going to do math, science, social studies? And then this will just take you to whatever page you need. The way they're set up is set up very nicely. Okay. Oh, one other thing I want to mention too about these standards before we go any further. So when we're looking at, let's just look at science here. The way that the academic subjects other than language arts are set up, they're set up with, some of them are called just content standards when you're looking into things such as science. So understand if it's saying content statement, that it's still the same thing as a standard. Okay, so you need to read chapter 5, pages 99 to 148. Here's your form. What is academic language and why is it important to educators? You're going to need more than this video this young man has. You're going to need to have another resource there too, and don't forget to make it APA. Okay, 432, this is where we're going to start that interdisciplinary lesson plan. I'm going to go over this a little bit more with you when we get down to that portion. The discussion rubric is here. Here's another link to the Ohio State Standards. The video on academic language. Here's another one. That's a great one too. Watching both of these will really help you. And if you pull the information off of them, you can use those for your second resource for the forum. This video is on measurable learning outcomes. The key here is on measurable. If I say that my students are going to be able to solve addition problems, single-digit addition problems, and I don't say how well they're going to do at it, it's not measurable. I would need to say something like, my students are going to be able to solve single-digit addition problems with 90% accuracy. That's a measurable learning outcome. So this is an extremely important video, very short and very good. I really like the video scribe ones that they do. Okay, so here is the lesson plan template, and there's an example after it. Rid of that out of our way. Okay, so you'll see that, and this is the template, and you can leave the red with the points on there, that's fine. The points are on there for you to know what each thing is worth. So your total points from this, 130, your name, your date, and then you notice I say K to 5 must choose grade 3. So the school, if you are indeed in a school, if you're not, just put NA there. 2 subject areas. The first one is going to be reading. I'm giving you that free point. And the second one is going to be science, math, or social studies. And so you'll have to have that one listed there. Also part of week 1 is using your knowledge of the student's content, and assessment. Your essential understanding simply means, what is the central focus of this lesson? Let's go with reading this time, or language arts. I might say the central focus of this lesson is for my students to be able to understand how to summarize a story. Here's the measurable outcome. The measurable learning outcomes are they are the measures. Measurable. Remember how I mentioned earlier. And here's the standard. So you'll have to first put your standard in. I would have put standards up before here if I created this plan. You're reading a standard, and then you're going to put your content area standard, and then you're going to do your measurable learning outcome. You're going to do your measurable learning outcome for reading here, and for science, math, or history there, measurable. I think once you get to starting to understand what you're doing with measurable, it's not really difficult. I'm sliding over here because I may throw this on there for you guys too, but I'm color coding what's due each week for myself as well. So we've already went through the first part down through the standards, and you're also going to be doing academic language, and you're going to define the academic language, and you have to identify the source. You have to have at least 5 definitions and the source. You can use one source more than once, but you need to have it listed more than once then. And then this is the language demand that we talked about. How your students will use, need, practice the language skills during the lesson: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. That's 3 points. And how will you incorporate the academic language into your lesson? And finally, with this week's lesson, the last thing is technology rationale. Either, yes, I am indeed utilizing technology and it benefits my lesson because, and then you respond. You put your check or X here and you respond down here. Or no, I intentionally opted not to use technology because, and then once again you come down and put why that you decided not to use it. Okay, so I thought that was just a little easier to see and understand. But I'm going to flip back here now. Because I want to make sure you note all the points that are listed, and they're listed all the way through. Each week you'll have a certain section that you need to do. Okay. What I was looking for on that was there should have also been an example for you. And that's not showing up. I will make sure that you have that example on here. I'm not quite sure what happened because it was on. Sometimes when you copy things from week to week, stuff like that happens because it was on there when I worked on these last evening. So I'll make sure that I add the example. The example is really helpful because when you can see an excellent lesson plan that's written, you can just read each section for each week, and that will help you know that you're on the right course with what you need to do. So academic language, you're going to see a video on that, and you're going to answer these questions. And for this week, you're going to be, I already went through everything that you're going to be doing for it and have the possible points listed for you. And that's all on the submission slot, although we've explained it really well underneath the lesson plan template as well. So I think that's pretty much it for week 3. It's a lot of information. I have no doubt that you'll be able to get through it well, though. It's more gathering the things you're going to need because a lesson plan, or really any task that you do, you should always begin with the end in mind. In this case, the end is the things that you're working on this week, the standards and the learning outcomes that you expect your kids to be able to get out of this. So, hope you all have a great week. As always, if you have any questions, worries, concerns, let me know and we will sort them out.